there's a couple people on. Hello, hello. I'm going to come on and say hello a couple minutes early. See how everyone was doing. How's everyone tonight? It is Tarot Tuesday. Again. And this is a really good card. So, it's good. Let me get this on. Hi. Hi, Darian. Good. I told you I'd remember. At least this time. All right. Hello, Kay. Muggy day, yes. Here too. It was terrible. Hi, Emma. Hi, Stephen. I did remember. Yes, yes. One of my favorites. Yes. I love this card. I really do. It's a good card. It's an interesting card. Lots of neat stuff about this card. So, hello, Christiana and Fatima is here already. Hello, and Pookie. Hi, honey. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Danielle. Lady D. Hi, hon. I got my crystal order and I love everything. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I pulled this card twice already. Uh-oh. One of those kinds of weeks. Hi, Michelle. You didn't get the promotion. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I am. I'm sorry. Must not have been meant to be then. Try not to worry about it too much because sometimes things are just not meant to be, and that's okay. What the heck am I sitting on now? Oh, it's just the blanket. All right. Indigo Sky, hello. My Heart's Journey, hello. Steven, I can't decide if I like this card. I know. Well, I like, this can be a really deep card. So it's an interesting card to pull because, boy, it can really teach you a lot about yourself and the way you make your choices and how you make your choices, right? So if I wake up on time, I might be able to make it on the live for the nooner tomorrow for a bit. Yay! Before you head out. Oh, good. Well, poor Pookie has to drive tomorrow all the way to Fargo. So he won't be on the live. Hi, Ponders Pros. That's okay. Hi, Laura. I'm doing good. It's been a long day. You know, we try to, on Tuesdays, we try to have, it's not a total day off, but we try to have a light day so that I can do my Tarot Tuesday, but we're getting ready a little bit for tomorrow. And I must say that in the back of my head, we're kind of getting things rolling for, because Mabon is a week from tomorrow. Technically, we'll be celebrating a week from now, because we celebrate from dusk the night before until dusk the night of. So next week, Tarot Tuesday, we're going to switch to Thursday, because Tuesday night we'll be doing a Mabon ritual. And we will do that. We will hopefully, fingers crossed, try to do that live so that you all can see our Mabon ritual. And then it's time to actually get ready for Samhain. And so for the shop, for the business, there's lots of cool stuff to get ready for Samhain. And we're already planning a whole bunch of different things that we're doing for Samhain. I put a couple orders in today, and I have my head grinding out a whole bunch of different ideas that I have in my head for that. So, yay, stay tuned. It's only an hour drive for me, just a pain. I hear you. Yes, yes. Hi, Karen. And Deb is here. Wait till you guys see. If you guys, I hope, if you guys have a chance to be around for the nooner tomorrow, for Witchy Wednesday tomorrow, please do, because I'm so excited. Deb's journals have come in, which I use mine for a Book of Shadows, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And Deb's journals are amazing. The energy that she puts into these things, I can't even tell you. Just amazing. So that's one of the things we're going to be showing tomorrow. Mama, you can't change it to Thursday. It's unacceptable. Hey. Samhain is at Thanksgiving. Samhain is Halloween. Samhain is October 31st. You can't make Wednesday nooners. Uh-oh. Well, don't forget, you're always welcome to rewatch and, purchase from that live. Anything, you can always message the page and purchase anything that it was from that live also. So, and anybody who has Deb's journals will tell you how freaking awesome they are. I just am in love with them. And Peter and me and Hexam were unpacking them yesterday or the day before, and I'm just in awe. The attention to detail and the energy that she puts into these, I just love them. I cannot wait to show everyone, because they are gorgeous. Gorgeous. So, okay. Hi, Michelle. So the card we're doing tonight is the Two of Swords. And this is such an interesting, cool card. Really, this card can tell you a lot about yourself and about your decision-making process and how you do it. So it's a really good card to do some great, in-depth shadow work kind of stuff. Hi, Leanne. Okay, so shall we get to it? I'm on my couch, which is hard to, usually I'm sitting up to do these. I'm going to put the computer down and put that over there. And we will start with our books. I'm ready, but I have to take my bra off. Oh, I'm with you, honey. I have a comfy one on. All right. So, Two of Swords. Two of Swords. When you look at the card, so anytime, just for very beginners, anytime that you start learning the tarot and you're looking at a new card that you don't really know a lot about, you're going to pull the card out and kind of look at it. Been having numbness in my left hand all week, and it's driving me nuts. And look at it and ask Justin, hi honey, how are you? I haven't seen you in so long, since I was over at MBL. And see what. I don't think so, Deb. I don't think I pinched a nerve, because there's nothing in my neck hurting. There's nothing in my back hurting. I would think if I had pinched a nerve, it would have started someplace. I thought of that at first. I think I'm going to have to call the doctor, because I thought about, with my family history with heart stuff, I thought, oh, what if, I hate to say this out loud, because I really don't think it's that. But I thought, what if there's some blocked something or other? So I'm probably going to have to call the doctor. Okay, that's my guess is it's probably carpal tunnel, because my hands for a couple of years now I've had issues, because in mammo you do the same, like out and up. We always held the breast out and up when we were doing mammos, and years of doing mammos, I think my hands might have carpal tunnel. That's my guess, but to be safe, I'll probably have to call the doctor. But yes, so when you are learning the card, you should be looking at it and seeing what you notice just off the bat. Just when you're looking at this card, what do you notice? So you see the moon is in crescent. Okay, so that's something that that's how my carpal started. Ugh. I'm falling apart. Don't get old, people. It sucks. Here in the South, that's a sign you're about to get some money. Oh, that would be good. Do you sleep on the left side? No. Well, Danny, you know, I have not been sleeping very good either. So, the moon is watching the wielder of the sword. Yes, so much. Absolutely. Her hands are crossed in front of her. So, she has the two swords, but they are crossed in front of her. But they are not bound, right? Her hands are not bound. And she is, I know, Pookie, I'm sorry. And she is wearing a blindfold. But her hands aren't bound. So if she wants to, she can take that blindfold off, right? Yep, the ocean behind her is a little bit wavy, right? I don't know if it's supposed to be super choppy. It's not. But there's definitely motion in the ocean. So what could that mean? Right? So, let me get back to comments. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It is. Yep. So let's read. We'll start with The Ultimate Guide to the Tarot. This is Liz Dean. And the element is air. So maybe that's one of the reasons that I love this card so much, because it's air. The astrological association is Moon in Libra. That's me, right? Hi, Witchy Woo. How you doing, Adrian? I always think of her turning her back on the emotion that she needs to deal with. Oh, that's so true. So true, right? She's like, I'm not even going to face you. I'm going to turn around and pretend there's nothing going on. There's no emotional turmoil behind me. Not at all. So key meanings, time to think and a stalemate. And who goes and sits on a moonlit bench next to the ocean and doesn't face the view, right? She's totally, that has to be on purpose. So she's purposely turning away from the moon, turning away from her emotions, turning away from the situation at hand. Absolutely, all of the above. A lone woman holds two swords across her chest in a pose of self-defense. She appears to be resting from a duel and protects her hearts, like she has two of them, her heart with her weapons, as if fearful that the pain of the Three of Swords, which is the next card, right, with its pierced heart may come. So that's one of the big things to remember, is that when you're looking at the tarot as a whole, you kind of can look at the card before and the card after to see what kind of energy has started and what we may be looking forward to. So again, that's a great point that the Three of Swords is the card right after this. So in order to protect her heart, she may see a little bit ahead and say, oh, if I make the wrong decision here, I could get my heart broken. I could make the wrong choice. I could go through a heartbreak. The Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is all about opportunity for growth, intellectual growth. Reminds me of story characters learning martial arts blindfolded with the sound of the water as a distraction. Can you still find your opponent and protect yourself? Oh, that's a good analogy. I like that. Okay, where am I? Although blindfolded, like the maiden on the Eight of Swords, unlike that woman, she has taken herself to a safe space. Seated on high ground, this is her place of contemplation. Her pale robe is monastic in style, which tells us she is taking a time out from the world and keeping her thoughts to herself. The rocks, partly submerged, symbolize issues yet to surface fully, but they do exist. They are part of her landscape, and they will not go away. Her hair is parted so that the third eye between the brows is visible. So bring your spiritual sight into this decision-making process, right? Temporarily deprived of sight, she sees with her intuition. The sky, graduating from gray to twilight blue, reflects a changing emotional landscape. She is in two minds, also signified by the two swords. The figure's position facing, now what was I going to say? Hold on before I lose it. The sky, yes, so when I read for people, one of the things that I say, and don't forget that it is our responsibility as tarot readers, whether we're reading for ourselves, but more importantly, if we're reading for others, to know the card well enough so that we can use our intuition to find out exactly what part of this card has something to do with our querent, with the person asking the question, with the person we're reading for. And so one of the things I usually tell to the person across from me when I'm reading for them is, you're at a crossroads. There's a decision that's a very hard decision for you. Usually, you know what the right choice is. What the choice is that you're supposed to take. That doesn't mean that you have to take that choice. But usually your intuition at this point tells you there is one road that is a little bit more along the lines of what you should be doing. And you usually know what that pull is. And so that is part of what we're talking about when we say we can see her third eye. They're using that intuition to, if you use that intuition, you usually already kind of know the decision. Usually it's the harder one. It's not the easier decision. But you usually kind of know. Okay, be safe. The storm had started and we are on tornado warning for about 6 times since June. Okay, be safe, honey. Go low if you have to. The figure's position facing us, sitting squarely on a stone plinth and holding swords, reminds us of the Justice card. Traditional representations of justice in art and sculpture show this virtue personified as a blindfolded female holding the sword of justice in one hand and the scales of mercy in the other. Similarly, our Two of Swords woman must also adjudicate, but in the sphere of her own affairs. So this is not a decision regarding other people. This is a decision regarding our own shit. What decision we're gonna make about our own shit. Okay. There's further dualities. The waxing moon we see on the top right of the card is in its growth phase and will change shape throughout its cycle, just as our blindfolded woman goes through the process of decision making, weighing up alternative outcomes. She wants him, but he is a cheater, right? The Two of Swords shows thinking time before your decision, taking the time out before you make the decision. A situation has reached a stalemate, so you can view this period as a truce or a rest before further negotiation. The tendency is to protect yourself, have a little peace, and not take action. Unfortunately, this upcoming battle may not go away. Resolve it now and it's done. Otherwise, the situation festers and may return. As there are two swords on the card, this too can reveal a person you cross swords with. It's likely that your difficult person is sharp-tongued, intelligent, and witty. But don't be afraid of lashing. Stand your ground and say what you think. The card commonly comes up in readings to show employment issues and also time out in relationships. This may be circumstantial due to partners living in different places. If negative cards such as the Three of Swords or the Lovers reversed appear with the Two of Swords, it shows making a decision about the future of the relationship. Whatever you experience, your experience of the Two of Swords, help is at hand in the form of supported friends and colleagues. Listen to advice and then take the best practical steps forward. Okay? Hi, Sasquatch. Hello, hello. Hi, Crimson Moon. So, a decision needs to be made. You are ignoring the decision somewhat because you're taking that time out and taking a moment to think, right? Yeah, this is my career's over, but I'm afraid to quit card. Oh, I may. I had it many times. Many times. It's funny for me. My career is over used to come up as the Eight of Cups. Time to walk away, even though it's perfectly okay, and that's a situation that could work for you. It's not yours anymore. It's time to turn and walk away. And that's the card I used to get all the time to walk away from where I was. So this is another one that's very similar is, take a minute, think about that decision, but use your intuition when you come to a decision and do what you know is the right move. Okay. The second book is The Tome of Tarot, Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wen. Love our Benabel. So this is the number 2, which is about balance and dualism. A blindfolded woman sits on a stone bench. Her arms are crossed, holding 2 oversized swords, one in each hand. Behind her is the ocean, with rocks protruding. A waxing crescent moon hangs in the sky. The seeker faces a difficult choice. There is a stalemate. The seeker is having a difficult time discovering his or her current situation. The seeker feels blinded, grasping through the darkness and the unknown. There is a stalemate in the current situation. Indecision is plaguing the seeker. Possible trouble ahead due to the indecision. Yet note how the figure in the card is holding the 2 swords. It is a position and a stance of power. This is not a stance of weakness. She doesn't have the swords next to her or, down by her side. This is a position of power. The seeker is a strong-willed individual, someone who is capable of carrying large burdens. The way the woman depicted in the card effortlessly and dauntlessly holds both large swords. The Two of Swords is about choosing between 2 bad or difficult options. Rippling waters suggest an unstill heart. The waxing crescent moon in the background is a good sign, however. It indicates new beginnings and a time to start fresh, another chance. Good time to conceptualize new ideas. Waxing crescent suggests the seeker will choose correctly, and there shall be gains afterwards. The blindfold woman depicted in the Two of Swords calls to mind Lady Justice. Both are being blindfolded for objectivity, but Lady Justice holds the balancing scales in one hand and a sword in the other. Here, the woman holds two swords and no scales. There is no deliberating about strengths and weaknesses, because both options are, for all intents and purposes, equal in their pros and cons. Instead, the dual swords symbolize the remaining need for execution of justice. The swords symbolize the power of logic and reason. It is no longer time for deliberation, as in the Justice card. It is now time for action. The woman's heart is covered by her crossing arms, and she is blindfolded, noting to the seeker that the decision to be rendered will not come from the physical sensory plane or the emotional. Only by logic and reason will the right decision be made. So that's, again, important. Like we talked about, the ocean being your emotions in the background, and you're literally turned away from your emotions. So it's at a stalemate. Usually you're going to use your intuition. You know, usually by the time this point hits, you know both decisions are hard, but you know which one is right usually. And it's just about bucking up and making that decision. It's not easy. There's no good choice. There's not one choice that's going to be oh, look, this clearly is the better option. You just know there's one choice that's supposed to be over the other. And it's not about your emotions. It is all about your logic and your intuition. So it's time to make that choice. And the fact that the crescent moon is waxing, that means that growth is coming. So there's a fresh new thing waiting for you. You just have to take the time and actually make that decision. Wasn't the Two Swords that scene in Practical Magic where Sandra Bullock is looking to the sky, describing the man she will be with one day, the one who couldn't possibly exist? I like that the card shows you have a choice. Yes, exactly. You do have that choice. Other cards make it a done deal and you just have to ride the wave. Yep, time to do a truth spell. Oh, for sure. Yes. To be fair, this is also the Osiris position, implying a balance between mercy and severity. There you go. That's true. That's true. So, again, though, it's funny that it's really, usually by the time you get to this point, you know the decision. It's just you're not ready to make it, or you're not ready to make that move, or you're not ready to, you might be in a strong position, but you're protecting your heart, right? So you're not quite ready to stand up and make that decision, because you know part of that decision is going to be a hardship. There's going to be a painful piece of it. In denial. Yes, in denial. Okay, so the last book is Modern Tarot by Michelle T. This is my favorite because it's like talking to a girlfriend. I agree, we usually know a decision often long before we make it. Exactly, long before. Usually by the time we get here, we're like, yeah, I know I have to make that decision. I just don't wanna. When the Two of Swords comes, we've got ourselves in a situation. And you certainly know which situation it's referring to, because it's been festering and growing and worsening due to your inactivity. There can be many reasons for your problematic hesitation. The worst is outright denial. You're pretending the problem isn't a problem. And by doing so, you've allowed it to continue and to grow in magnitude. If the Two of Swords has come from you, it is to force you to reckon not only with the problem, but with the hows and whys of your unhealthy response to it. It is time to take the appropriate and long-delayed action, and it is time for some psychological soul-searching. Why couldn't you face this? Is denial a recurrent problem in your life? What are you afraid of? As you will see, the sword suit has a tense relationship with the realm of emotions. I feel like she's calling me out right now. Oh, sorry, MA, I know it. In some readings of the Two of Swords, it represents a problem whose solving requires strict logic. You must not rule with your heart in this moment, but with what you know to be intellectually true. Perhaps you need to draw a difficult boundary with someone whose behavior is abusive or self-harming. Perhaps you've got to get out of an uninspiring relationship, but you are so conflict averse you hate hurt feelings. In these situations, you must channel the cold, detached nature of the Two of Swords and do what must be done. To let it go further is abusive in its own right. Remember that it's not possible to simultaneously draw a boundary and take care of the other person involved. Woo, is that true? This moment is for taking care of yourself and your needs. It's not about taking care of the other person. Is there a card that doesn't suggest shadow work? I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty tough to find one, right? Sometimes the Two of Swords shows up for a person who has shut off their emotions in a problematic way. In doing so, they've shut themselves off to love and the sort of joyful risk-taking that leads to a full life. If this is you, no doubt you've had your reasons for shutting down. But if this read on the card is feeling true to you, it means it's time for you to begin the healing work of cracking that cold heart open once again. Sometimes coping mechanisms that work for us in one phase of life become problems later on if we don't cast them off. Whichever side of the Two of Swords you're on, and I'm pretty sure you know which it is, the common denominator is the need to act, and to act now. You've hesitated long enough, whether because of denial, emotional seesawing, feeling shut down, or honestly not knowing which option is the right one. The Two of Swords orders you to pick a path and take it. If it turns out to be the wrong course, you'll have an opportunity to change direction. And that's the big thing. And again, when I am reading for someone and this card comes up, the first thing I will say is, okay, there's a decision, but at this point, you kind of know which decision is the right one. That's the one you should be taking. However, even if you don't, even if you take the other decision, it's okay. It has a possibility of working out. It can work out. It's just not really the one you were supposed to take. And usually you know that. Usually there's something in you that knows, really, even though this road might be harder, really this is the road I'm supposed to be taking. For anyone that is in Enneagram type 9, this is a tough card. Oh boy. Yep, I'm getting called out too. Sorry, Sasquatch. Yes, it really is. Moon and Scorpio, I have no problem being cold and detached when needed. I take my time when making that decision, but when I do, it's done. That's good. That's good. Moon and Scorpio, that helps. Libras, if you're, it's Michael. Hey Michael. If you're a Libra, usually you have a harder time making that decision, because for Libras, we almost never have the ocean, the emotions behind us. Usually the emotions, we're like drowning in the emotions. The emotions are all a part of the decision we have to make. And we don't want to hurt any one person. So it's about, can we make this decision and not rock the boat as much as possible? Trying to keep everyone happy is very difficult for us Libras. Right. Okay. So some really fabulous cards tonight with this image, with this card. I'm too emotional. Yeah, me too. I'm with you. I'm going to start right off with a fabulous card. Can I just say, I know I've said it before, but Anna Turian is an incredible artist. She did the art for the Bonestone and Earth Flash deck, which we'll be seeing later also. This is her newest tarot called the Tarot of the Abyss, and I adore this card. This is Tarot of the Abyss. I just adore this card. It says, traditionally, the Two of Swords is depicted as a blindfolded woman holding two swords crisscrossed in front of her chest. I chose to go a slightly different way artistically, but the card still retains its original meaning. Day in and day out, we present different aspects of ourselves to the world, and even those closest to us. Each of us wears so many masks that sometimes we are in danger of forgetting our own true nature. The woman has no facial features. She has yet to choose what parts of herself she will reveal to the world. Yeah, she's kneeling on the decision. Yes, right? The Two of Swords card draws attention to a tense situation, one in which you are unable or simply don't want to make a decision. You are at a stalemate, an impasse of the mind. So I ask you, which aspect of yourself is creating this impasse at this time? A choice needs to be made, and hiding behind any masks will prolong the discomfort. Sometimes no action is an action, and avoiding the truth only delays the inevitable. Is there a situation you're unwilling to accept? Maybe we should first try to distinguish the clear features that we have, the ones that have always been there, in order to help us choose. So which face do we need to put on to help us make this decision and really just step forward into action? Which one, right? We all wear masks. Yep, absolutely. I know it. It's such a good deck. She is a brilliant artist. By the way, Simon from the Hermit's Cave started the video response. My bedside table. Aw. I love Simon. I miss Simon so much. I haven't had the time to watch him very much, and I so miss him. I'm going to have to start driving over the border with U.S. Games decks, right? Anti-vaxxers who won't accept COVID is real. Yes, that's true. Yes. So, great, fabulous. I love this deck. Such a good one. Shall we look at a naked deck? So, the Sabbath Tarot is going to be the next deck. If you have issues with nudity, warning. It's time for you to look away. We'll get it out of the way ahead of time. It's a beautiful card. Once again, I just love this deck. So here is the Sabbath Tarot. The witch god is crowned with two mighty horns representing the balance of the universe. They are the horns of power and enlightenment. Here a witch is covering his face while putting on the horned crown to gain prophetic powers to know the future. Through trance, he becomes the goat god, locking horns with the obstacles in his way. He stands in the waters of intuition with no signs of land around. We also see the Masonic square and compass hidden in the card, teaching us to live by the square, our worldly material actions, and remember the immortality of the soul, so that the results of our actions must benefit both body and soul. Like the goat, when the Two of Blades is involved, you may be butting heads with those around you, locked in a place of stalemate where solutions aren't coming to fruition. This stalemate may also be coming from a place of avoidance, out of sight, out of mind, but that is going to prolong the situation and not solve anything. You get it? How many times, right? Prolong the situation, prolong the situation. Of course, with this card in front of you, it may mean something different. You may find yourself faced with a difficult decision, and it is best to ask yourself, will this decision benefit my body and spirit? Will it bring me in harmony and balance? Weigh the options. One is going to feel right, and that is the one you should go with. Imagine the calm pool of intuition turning into treacherous waves of emotion and information that throw you off balance. Banishing the Two of Blades is exactly that. Do not let your spiritual peace and clarity be upset by focusing on too many details. Take care to avoid people who like gossip and witch warring. They will prove to be disloyal, sowing the seed of confusion. Release yourself of their burden, and remember you are in control of the problems in which you choose to involve yourself. Woo! Okay, I wasn't being called out at all until that. This is why I love this deck so much. Okay, pretty men. We gotta love pretty men. But also, let me just read that one more time. Take care to avoid people who like gossip and witch warring. They will prove to be disloyal, sowing the seed of confusion. Release yourself of their burden, and remember you are in control of the problems in which you choose to involve yourself. That's a powerhouse. That's amazing. Naked and blindfold, right? I'll put my pennies together to purchase it. You know I misread pennies. Yes. Love that the swords are just midair, not in his hands. Yes. Yes. A tad bit of airbrushing. Yes, 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 yes. Perhaps. What this is why I love this deck, though, is because it's such a, I'm such a 12-year-old boy. Deep deck. Because it really makes you look at yourself. Okay, it makes you look at a lot, but it makes you look at internally at yourself and really look at what you feel about these cards. So, yes. Beautiful card. Get that out of the way right out of the bat, right? I don't know if there's a new edition. I'll be honest with you, there has been so much going on in my life that I am kind of behind on what decks are new. I have to, now that I'm home, I hope to catch up a little bit. I've been out of the loop for about 3-4 months, 5 months. Whole point of Naked Witchcraft is the exposure and the full-out honesty. Exactly. But there are a lot of what I would consider to be nude decks that are fluff, that are really just nude to be nude, and they don't really investigate your soul very much. They don't really dive into your emotions, and for me, this deck has always been both a pretty to look at deck, but also extremely soul searching. It's really good that way. Okay, the next one is the Dreamkeeper's Tarot. Where do you stand on the Tarot of Sexual Magic? I don't think I've seen that one. I have a couple different, what do I have? I have Erotic, I think, Tarot. I have the, the really old one from Los Scarabeo, I think it is. I have that one. I don't think I've seen that one. I was only shuffling to get the energy, right? The Tower reversed, 6 of Cups reversed, and the 3 of Wands upright. Woo! Tower reversed, 6 of Cups reversed, and 3 of Wands upright. Well, that's interesting, Mike. Meaningless nudity, yeah. Whoops. Dreamkeepers. This is the Dreamkeepers deck. I like this deck because it's like her spirit self is standing behind this dummy. And I love that she's got other things in her hands. See that her hands are occupied with other things. I love that she has these roots growing out of her head. So she has a lot to learn. She's reaching out with her intuition to learn, try to root what it is she needs to make this decision. And I love that her physical body is literally in front of her. So her spiritual body is reaching out and trying to really feel out what decision it is she's supposed to be making. I really like this card for that. She also is standing in the water. It's a beautiful card. And again, the waxing moon is in the background. It's a beautiful card. Next we have, there's a spirit behind a body, behind a mannequin, right? Very, very good card to separate out, you know, almost like the masks, the different masks that we wear. The next card is from the Tarot of the She. I love the duality in this card. I love that the bird has duality. We should call it the human soul behind the automaton animate set. So, and that the, instead of showing the swords, we have a bird here and the wind. See how the bird is whipping up the wind around the duality of the she. And so, a magpie? Yeah. Yeah, it does look like a magpie. So to me, the bird is like kind of pushing the intellect to force the decision, right? The decision must be made, and so the magpie, the bird here, is really going to force the issue. I'm going to push this air all around you, this intelligence, in order for you to push you to action. You will make this decision. You will stand up and act on this decision that you know to be true. It's a great card. Beautiful. I have to say, I have to try to get the Lubanko Tarot. The more I look at the Lubanko Tarot, the more I like it. It's very, very bold. So the next one here is the Lubanko Tarot. I really like this deck a lot. I like the style of this deck. It's very bold. And so I love, again, the duality is clearly seen. I love that it's almost like he has blood on his brain here. It's like being the punishment of not making a decision, right? The punishment of the stalemate. Yes, exactly, Luann, the Lubanko Tarot. I'm really going to have to get this deck. This is Hexen's copy. I'm really going to have to look for this deck, I think, because every single card, every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, this deck is very deep, in your face, forces you to really look at things. Really really bold deck. She is selling some. Yay, I'll have to go look. I like this one a lot. Emily, right? Emily Lubanko, I think her name is. The next one is the Druid Craft. Love, love, love. Here we go. She is naked underneath the cape here. And here she is literally at the crossroads. She's at the crossroads of her path. She has a blindfold on. This time we are not seeing her face. We see that there is a path that sees some light, and there's a path that looks very dark. Usually the one that you know you're supposed to go on is usually the harder path. For some reason, when this card comes up, I have found that normally the correct path, the path that you know, and that's probably the right path, is usually the more difficult path for some reason. Just gorgeous. I do love this deck. Steven is using this deck this month, and this is one of the dark decks I'll be pulling out when I do my tarot of the dark half of the year. This is one of the decks for sure. I love when it's time to pull the Druidcraft out. This one is the Slow Tarot. This one is a little bit different. So this is, there's emotions between, and one person clearly has their heart forward, and we can see the heart is vulnerable and the emotions are stirred up between. So I love when tarot takes the basic meaning of the tarot and kind of tweaks it a little bit. To me, when I pull this card from this deck, it means a little bit something different than if I pull it from kind of a basic Rider-Waite deck. To me, this could also indicate that there's another person involved in this decision. And that, again, you have been at this impasse with this person, and there's a lot of emotions in between. And so you are trying to do your, whatever they call it, you know, parry and retreat and all that. You're trying to do that without falling off of your own stability and also winning the match, right? And it's a difficult thing. This card is poking at me this week, and I don't know that I can handle the hard path that I know I should be taking. And sometimes, again, don't forget, like your heart fighting your head. Yes. Don't forget that the other path, if you do choose the other path, don't forget that it might be, it'll be okay. It's not necessarily the path that you're supposed to choose, but it's not that everything will fall apart, and that is not this kind of a card. This card does not tell you that if you do not choose that harder path, that's it, your life will fall apart. It just says, you know that there's a tougher choice that is the correct one for you, and you know that that's the choice you're supposed to take. That doesn't mean that you have to take it, though. Sometimes we just have had enough, and we are just wiped out, and for once we just need to take the easier path. And that's okay. And don't beat yourself up over it if you cannot go through another difficult path. Sometimes we just can't keep going that way. We need a break of easier roads ahead. That's okay. It doesn't mean everything's going to fall apart. You might take longer to get to where you're supposed to be going, depending on the path you choose. Yes, don't go chasing waterfalls and butterflies. Yes, yes. Okay, sorry. This is the Muse Tarot. This is the Two of Voices. And this is the choice is so difficult. Here we are. The choice is so difficult, it's splitting us in two. So here's the door. But the choice has been so difficult, it's like splitting us into two versions of ourselves. I had to decide this morning between two jobs. I went with the new job. It was a hard decision, but I feel good about it. Good. That's good. No yawning aloud. Sorry. You know, now you said it again. I'm trying to, I got my new meds in, and I haven't had the full dose of my, not new meds, but the full dose of my normal meds I haven't had for a very long time. And I forget that sometimes if I take them the way I'm supposed to, that it can make me slightly bitchy. Poor Peter had to deal with, not slightly, okay, I was bitchy yesterday. I was, especially when I'm getting used to him again. And I've been taking them too late, which means I've been up half the night for days and days. So Peter had me set an alarm to take the second pill by noon so that hopefully it's out of my system. And now I'm like, okay, it's bedtime. So it's literally splitting us in two. I keep getting notifications. It is. I really love Chris Ann's work is amazing. The author of this deck and the Lightseers Tarot, which we will see. Chris Ann's imagery is stunning. This is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot. This is a great view. Again, I love little animal decks. I was going to get out the Crone Tarot, or not the Crone, the Crow Tarot, but it's very similar to this. I love the little heart in the middle of his chest. And the twinkling lights. And he's standing in the middle of the water. There's just a little bit of space in the middle of the water. It's a very, I really do like this deck a lot. Very, it's a great, one of those great animal decks for sure. This is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. I love this one. This one is a little bit different. So, I love the balance symbol on her chest. We have the yin yang. And she's in a power stance. The swords are behind her because the wolf coming up behind her, that's her, you know, her problem. Her problem is behind her, and she's going to actually take the action and step forward. The decision, okay, we had two decisions. Now it's time to act. Remember saying it's time to act no matter what? The tank top and ice peaks. Hey, sometimes our Viking, like right now I'm having a terrible hot flash. I would totally be in a tank top. So it's taking that action knowing that, and I look at her face. Oh, I just love it. She has the two candles going, so obviously she's been thinking about this action for a while, contemplating which to choose, and now she's using the swords almost to rise forward and take action. Beautiful card. And here comes a hot flash. Unbelievable. Here we have the Shadowscapes. Shadowscapes Tarot. Very interesting. I love that the heart is hanging above. So almost as if to protect the heart, she has hung it above her. Like, okay, I might have to take the harder road here, but I'm going to protect my heart by literally taking it out of my chest and hanging it above me so it's protected. Here we have the swan protecting the heart. Such a beautiful deck. I do wish that they would make a bigger version of it. And I know you can see a much better image of it online, but It's a good deck. It's a hard deck for those of us who have to wear reading glasses to see everything that needs to be seen. It's just such a beautiful. There's so many little details, like the fae. The fae are all over in this deck. If you see, like in the trees, and there's little fae creatures all over. It's so detailed, such a detailed deck. Hot. Here we have, where's the rest of my books? Here we go. This is the Enchanted Forest, the Forest of Enchantment deck. Here is the Two of Challenges. The Two of Challenges, which is the Two of Swords. And it says, traveling through the forest, a young man suddenly comes upon a magic mirror blocking his path. The looking glass hangs in midair, with no visible means of support and no way to remove it. The forest is thick with undergrowth here. He can't go forward, he can't go around, and he doesn't want to go back. So he chooses the obvious solution. He looks into the mirror. He sees himself exactly as he is. No mystical version or otherworldly entity, just his own startled, wide-eyed self. You may have gotten into a situation from which there is no obvious positive movement forward. This card signifies a pause for clarification. Not about the situation, but about your place in it. You can't go any further on this path until you take a long look at yourself. Stop being in denial about your own faults and failings. Stop distracting yourself to avoid facing the truth. You will make better progress when you are clearer about your true intentions. It's pretty good explanation. Do you remember when you'd have so much trouble getting the camera to focus? Yes, I remember, Heather. That was before I got my new phone. I can't even tell you how wonderful it is to not have to fight with it all the time anymore. The second gate in the never-ending story, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Here we have the Light Seers Tarot. The magnifying glass days. Yes, the only way I could get it to focus. Here's the Light Seers. Now, I love this deck. See how she's written on herself. Hold on, let's see what the book says. It's so good. Frodo entering the tunnel. Ooh, that's a good one. You know that feeling of not knowing. It's time to make a choice, and it may seem like you are between a rock and a hard place. If you can't decide which way to go, it's because you can't see the bigger picture yet. The Two of Swords is whispering that you must move in one direction. Hold on. Close your eyes and listen to your internal guidance system for your map. If your intuition has fallen unusually silent, it's asking you to trust yourself and your ability to discern and decide. Even in blindness, you already know the best way forward. When you act, the future will reveal itself and it will help you move towards your dream. Have faith that the universe is serving you the right experience. At the crossroads of duality, your analysis and overthinking will just get you buried in the quicksand of a million possible endings. So find peace of mind by trusting your judgment. When blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move towards the light. And so I was going to say, I love this. I love that the ravens are a distraction. The ravens are not really going to hurt her here. This is not a case of, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. She has been trying to make this decision. Look at, she's created a balance. She's written on herself a balance. Deck Jen used to hate to love. That's right. A balance beam to trying to figure out the way forward. She's written on herself. And she's like, I don't know. I'm going to give up. I'm going to put my blindfold on and make the decision. And then she puts her blindfold on, and here she has these distractions. These ravens are bringing these teeny little strings and trying to bind her more with these strings, because sometimes when we're in the midst of trying to make that decision, there's all these weird distractions that start happening. And you start to question if the universe is really, if you really know the right way, or is the universe questioning, like, is the universe telling you to, maybe that's not the right way? Maybe that's not the right way. Don't listen to all the distractions. Trust your intuition. Sometimes it's best to use the blindfold so that you don't have all the external stuff going on, and just move in the direction that you know you're supposed to be moving in. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. I like that card a lot. This is so many books in front of me. This is the True Black Tarot with our use of light. It's funny, every single card, when I see this card, I think, that's okay. But once you read the description, usually I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just beautiful. Look at all the cracks in the sword. Love this. Okay, so it says, if I can get it open right. The Two of Swords is a card that implores you to realize that your current situation requires action, even if the result isn't pretty. Two swords are interlocked in a struggle, wearing each other down, but neither winning nor losing. Between them is a message or letter torn apart by a reader unwilling to accept its contents. This card asks that the situation needs to be confronted and resolved once and for all. Lest it deteriorate further. Refusing to make a choice is still a choice, and sometimes it's the worst choice of all. The swords depicted are modeled after the Chinese swords of -700 BCE. So, wow, there's a Rush song like that. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Perfect line for this card. I love how the indecision is starting to crack and wear away. The use of light, as always, is brilliant in the True Black Tarot. Just brilliant. Bone Stone, let's do Bone Stone. An interesting card because the martial arts balance is between knowledge and action. Oh, that's perfect. The writing is on the wall. Oh, that's good, Heather. That's good. Where is, I know I did this. I swear I did it. There it is. Okay, Bone Stone. And one for my big ding dong. Large, uncut, 8 inches. I love that. It's so obvious that they have to come online to say how huge they are. Really? At least it's, I don't know, productive? All right, Bone Stone and Earth Flesh. Again, such a gorgeous card here. She has her pendulum out. her baby at her back. I remember when they were doing this card online. Such a beautiful, beautiful card. Teller is a strong-willed mother who lives the life of a nomad. She knows all too well the power of choice and the far-reaching consequences of her decisions. Every choice she makes impacts the child she carries on her back. Every choice she makes cements an experience that will shape them both, for better or for worse. Teller knows there are times when she cannot trust her own judgments. In time of hunger, when she is road-weary or sleep-deprived, she knows the necessity of reaching beyond the realm of the divine. She stops and removes the pendulum from her pouch. This pendulum belonged to her mother and her mother's mother and beyond. She plants her feet, steadies her breath, and reaches out with her mind. She need not wait for long. Her practice is refined, and her guidance comes quickly. Beautiful. So again, here she stands at a crossroads. Which way do I go? And the choices will follow us. Yes. Affect generations that follow us. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Mama, you might need to get that magnifying glass again. Yes, absolutely. And so, how wonderful that she trusts her intuition enough to pull out her pendulum that has been in her family for generations. And say, okay, which way? Which way am I supposed to go? Just let me know and I will follow. I will go that way. It's okay. I love that. Once again, Anna Turian, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. This one is the 78 Tarot. This is the Elemental edition. Yes, absolutely, Kay. I can put you in my Reiki basket. The Elemental 78 Tarot. A decision has to be made. And here the air is all around. And once again, kind of knocking this winged person around. Make the damn decision, or the wind will knock you right out of the damn sky. Right? This is a very forceful, you must make a decision. You must decide. Now I'm going to have that Rush song in my head forever. You still have made a choice. Love that card. This is the 78 Tarot Mythical Edition. And this is kind of the story of the werewolf. Should I be the human or the wolf? What aspects of myself? Beautiful. I don't suppose anyone would advertise their flaccid micropene. Probably not, but I'm quite sure that they would get on and pretend that they were huge. I have to say, it's getting a little disgusting to me how many times I will post a video, it will post and immediately comes on some link for some porn site, it's like, oh, give me a break. You guys don't, do your own work to try to figure out who wants to see that shit anymore. Instead, you troll off of other people. It's annoying. Okay, we're almost done. Once again, I cannot find the book for this deck. I know we used it 2 weeks ago, and I found my other books, and I cannot find this book. I know it's around, but I can't find it. My cat just sank her leg up to her elbow in my coffee. Yes, pay attention to me. But again, another great card from the Enchanted, no, not Enchanted. God damn it. Poppy Palin. I am so tired. Be the Wolf. Yes, Everyday Enchantment. Thank you. So here we have the fighting teenagers in the background. Final notice. I love the fly buzzing. And the swords are the 2 butter knives on the plate. Final notice of the bills. The juice is spilled, and which bill do I pay? What do I take care of tonight, and what do I let go? Sometimes they're impossible choices, and you've got all the distractions in the background buzzing around, right? That certainly feels like that a lot. A lot. Okay, let me do Stephen's notes. And then we're, wait, let me do Stephen's notes, and then we will finish with the before and after and pull our card for next Thursday. Don't forget now, Tarot Tuesday will be on Thursday. We will be on next Tuesday, but because next Tuesday night starts Mabbin. So Mabbin is next Tuesday night, so we will be on doing a live ritual. But Tarot Tuesday will be on Thursday next week. All right. So here we go. Stephen's notes. If you're pulling this for a career and finance reading, the Two of Swords can indicate that there are decisions regarding your career that you are having difficulty with. You may be wondering which path to take, which job offer to accept, or whether to change jobs. Even though you may be wary of what happens when a particular choice is made, hesitation and indecision will have its own consequences. Trying to maintain the status quo will be harder, and eventually you will have to confront the reality of the situation anyway. If this is for a health reading, the Two of Swords indicates that there may be health issues that need to be addressed, which you have been in denial about. If you ignore them, they could worsen to the point where you are forced to face them, and at this point the situation will be harder to deal with. The card can also indicate that blockages such as unexpressed emotions, unresolved anxiety, and resentment could be impacting your well-being. Thank you, Fatima. Relationships. If you have pulled this for a relationship reading, the Two of Swords indicates that the relationship is at a crossroads and that certain decisions regarding the relationship need to be made. You may have been in denial about this and have tried to keep going as normal, but the status quo cannot continue for much longer. The card may indicate that you can't agree on the way forward, causing a stalemate. It also may indicate a blockage in communication. The card could also represent the difficulty in choosing between 2 potential or current relationships. And finally, if it's a general reading, the Two of Swords is all about choices and decisions and the difficulty in making them. It indicates indecision and a stalemate, which often comes from being in denial of the situation and being reluctant to enact a necessary change. It represents the inability or unwillingness to see the true nature of the problem and the solution, and can also represent blockages, particularly in communication. And don't forget that it really suggests taking a breath before you make the decision, and then trust your intuition and step forward. Action. You must do the action part. It's really suggesting that you do that action. So, right before this, what happens right before this? She ties the blindfold on. So, see, the sea is a little bit, I was going to say a little bit calmer. Feel better. What? Me too, Mama. I took nerve meds to help with the ankle. I'm a mess right now. I think I have shingles. Oh, Oh, honey, rash right around my right side. I will, honey, Jackie, for sure. So what are everybody's top 5 essentials they have on hand for Mabbin? Ooh, apple, apple. First is the apple. So she's tying the blindfold on right before. Right after, so right after this, what happens? If she does not stand up and make that decision, guess what? All of a sudden, someone else has taken those swords away, and they're going to fight it out and make a decision for her. It may become a situation where you cannot make the decision anymore. You had your chance. Now you're just going to have to suffer the consequences of not making a choice. So make sure that you take this card. Yep, lose the power. Take this card as a warning that it's time to act. Time is coming shortly where you will not have a choice anymore. That will just happen. Let's see if we are going to come all the way around and look at it from behind. If we were standing back on one of these rocks, what do we see? So we see all the way around. We see a horse running at her. Why? I have no idea. Maybe it's going to run her over if she doesn't make the choice. I'm not sure. It's a different one. Who knows? Certainly I do not. Different kind of, okay, whatever. Okay. So, what do we say? We have 9 cards, I believe, left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards left in the entire tarot. I am going to try to work on, I think I have one I'm going to have to redo because it didn't save, and work on organizing them so that they're in order of like the major arcana and then the suits and stuff. The horse is going to take her off into the future. Oh, I like that a lot better. It's a trained jumping horse following its training. There you go. Okay. Here we go. 9 cards left. Then we go back to the full and start again. Ah! 2 of Pentacles. So these 2s are following us. It's funny, it wasn't that long ago that we did the 2 of Wands. So the 2s are following us. There are decisions to be made. A lot of decisions to be made with these 2s. There are choices ahead of us. Another great card, the 2 of Pentacles. We will be doing that on Thursday. Yes, on Thursday we will be doing the 2 of Pentacles. I will create the event. I will also create the event for the Mabbin ritual. You can join us for our Mabbin ritual. Those of you who are local will be doing lots of stuff for Samhain time. We're going to be doing a dump supper, a local open dump supper. What else? Oh, tomorrow is going to be a great sale. There's some great things going on. Deb, Kindred's Journey here, she created some great journals for us. Books of Shadows, junk journals, however you want to talk. They're absolutely stunning. I love them. So lots and lots of stuff going on. Make sure you go and like the new shop page, which is Mama Squirrel's Living Room. Literally, because this is where we're doing our shop from now. Mama Squirrel's Living Room on Facebook. And the sale tomorrow starts at noon for Witchy Wednesdays. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support, your love, and your good feelings. And we will see you next Thursday, or next Tuesday will be the live ritual, or tomorrow for the sale. Yep, is at noon Eastern Standard Time. Love you.